hello. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Salad Master. Good afternoon, the world. My name is Tony. We're back with the $1 Billion Body by Dr. Dolly. And Dr. Dolly, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
You're looking smiley, you're looking great,
Oh
you're
my
looking
God.
ready to go. Yeah.
Yes, we are
Wow.
so ready to
This
go.
topic.
Hello,
Yeah?
everybody.
Yeah.
Once again, it is your $1 Billion Body by Dr. Dolly. And sitting with me is Mr. Tony Bello. And this program is proudly sponsored by our one and only Salad Masters.
Wow. So last week was 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
I always think it's last week. It's 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago was very, very exciting.
Yes.
We had a lot of people call in talking about diabetes and talking about the issues with their diabetes, type 1, type 2. And I remember one was for pregnant ladies.
Gestational
diabetes. Yeah. Wow, that was educational. It had information. It helped people. People felt more relaxed talking about the diabetes.
Wow.
So today, what do you have in store for us today?
Okay, so today our topic is understanding cholesterol, but cholesterol is just one of the lipid families. So let me paraphrase our topic. It is management of hyperlipidemia, of which cholesterol is one of it.
Wow, cholesterol. Everyone, sometimes you go to the doctor and they say you've got cholesterol.
Oh yeah.
They say, is there such thing as high cholesterol?
Oh yes.
Yeah. And is there such thing as low cholesterol?
Oh yeah.
So what cholesterol should it be? Should it be high or should it be low?
It should be normal.
Normal.
Yes.
So you're in danger if it's high?
Yes.
Are you in danger if it's low?
Yes, if it's low, it's a type of disease that is different with different clinical manifestations.
Wow.
From the high cholesterol.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. So this is going to be, guys, this is going to be, for me, it's going to be an education.
Yes.
Because I've heard of, I used to say, look, you want to stop high cholesterol, but really there's high, there's low, so we need to be normal. We need to be in between.
Yes.
So Dr. Dolly, I'm going to fire, you can fire off. Let's get going.
Okay. All right. Welcome to today's program. So like I said, our topic today is management of hyperlipidemia. It goes without saying that when you hear hyper, it's on the high side. And lipidemia is just lipid. Another name for lipid is fats. Simple and short. So let's break it down. Lipids are fats. And now, what is hyperlipidemia? Hyperlipidemia is an abnormal amount of lipids, cholesterol inclusive, that is in the blood. When there's too much fat in the blood, that is hyperlipidemia. And cholesterol is one of those fats because there's not just, we have different types of fats. Cholesterol is one of the types of fats we have. And hyperlipidemia, like I said, is an abnormal amount of lipids in the blood. So it is a lipo.
So you say fat?
Yes.
Okay, wow.
Yes.
So where's the fat coming from?
Yes. Fat is coming from actually the food we eat. Right. We have 6 classes of food. One of it is fats and oil. And this fats and oil, it is supposed to be digested and metabolized properly when it gets inside of you, and then the excess is now excreted through the feces. But when there's a problem with the metabolism of fats or lipolipids in the body, that's when you have an abnormal accumulation of it in the blood. And like we said when we did previous topics like diabetes, we said that the blood or the blood vessels is not a storage place. So when anything that is not part of it, it is there, it is causing a problem.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Now in developed countries, now what we call dyslipidemia or hyperlipidemia it is elevation of lipids in the bloodstream, and it is due to mainly your diet and lifestyle, and it's usually seen in developed countries.
Wow. So in developed countries, so that's like the UK, that's like places like that?
Yes, basically that's the UK and the US and all. But coming to Africa and bringing it home to us, in Nigeria, we have it more in the urban centers rather than the lower or rural centers, so to say. So it is more of a disease of the rich.
Right. Okay.
Yes, it's a disease of the rich.
Right.
Because the lifestyle and the diets that can give you hypercholesterol can only be afforded if you're rich. If you're not rich, it's not really possible.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
So in terms of people at most risk, who are the people at most risk?
Oh yeah, people at most risk. We'll still get to that, but for now, what we are going to do is look at the types of cholesterol, types of fat that we have. First of all, we have a type of fat called triglycerides. Those are the most abundant in the body, followed closely by the cholesterol we know, and lipoprotein is the third one. Another type of cholesterol that is very good, if you have it in abundance, it is actually good, is what we call high density lipoprotein. It is very good for the heart. Now, the very bad one, again, is the low density lipoprotein. We also have intermediate density lipoprotein, then very low density lipoprotein, and the smallest amounts of fat that you can see, they are called the chylomicrons. So in other words, I've just listed like 8 types of fat that we have, and cholesterol happens to be number 2.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Because I always have HDL and LDL.
Mm-hmm.
HDL and LDL.
Yes.
And one says it's good and one is bad.
Yes. So it is the high density lipoprotein that is good. The low density lipoprotein, it is very bad. Wow. It is very bad for the heart, for the arteries. Once it is there present in the arteries, once it is present in the arteries, it clogs the system, going underneath the layers of the artery and forming fat plaques there, forming what we call atherosclerosis. And then once there's a friction or an embolus, it blocks very tiny arteries to the heart, to the brain, and all of that. That's how it causes its significant stuff. So what are the kind of diseases that is caused in people who have high cholesterol? Example of the hyperlipidemia disorders are: 1, familial hypocholesterolemia; 2 is familial lipoprotein; 3 is type 4 hyperlipoprotein; 4 is familial type 3 hyperlipoprotein; and then number 5 is type 5. All these disorders are usually inherited. It is gotten if your mother, father, or close relatives have it, then most likely you're in danger of having one yourself. Now, who are those? What are the things that you have or things that you have around you that will tell you, oh, I might develop hypercholesterolemia later in the future? First of all is, if you have it, like I said, if it's familial, your lifestyle, the kind of food you eat, the kind of lifestyle you indulge in. First of all, foods, mainly fats. Everybody knows the fatty meats. Those are the sweetest kind of, I don't know why it has to be, but that's the way it is. The fatty kind of meats are the sweetest kind of meats. So what
do you mean by fatty meats? Like what?
Fatty meats. The red meat that contains the white parts that are usually fleshy, drippy, you like to sink your teeth into it. Those are the kind of meats that is not too good.
Okay.
Yes. Another one is what you have, like the French fries, potato chips, and all of that. They are so bad because they contain trans fats, which is because the fat has gone through processes in the factory. It has now been, one of few hydrogen molecules has been added to solidify it. And once they can solidify it and keep it in the shelf life, to prolong the shelf life of the product, when it gets into your body, it's also solidified. So that is why we tend to run away from anything that contains trans fats. It doesn't easily dissolve when it gets into you. And it's not just dissolving, it causes a whole lot of problem when it gets into you. Now, how does this hypercholesterolemia, how does it present itself? First of all, you have coronary artery disease. What is coronary artery, you might ask? Everybody has been saying, what is coronary arteries? This is your heart. Okay, fine. There's a heart here. The tiny blood vessels that supply the heart itself, it is called the coronary arteries. And these coronary arteries are so slim, so small that it needs to be patent, because the amount of work that the heart does, it needs to be patent. So any kind of fat that blocks it is a problem.
Can I make your job a little bit easier?
Okay.
Looks like you have a heart behind you.
Oh, yes. Beautiful. And this is the coronary artery.
Right.
My job is really made easier. This is the coronary artery. This is it. So anything that blocks here, which means all of these parts supplied by this other artery, doesn't get blood. And when it doesn't get blood, it doesn't get oxygen. And when it doesn't get oxygen, the heart muscles start dying.
So is it just like those arteries that you have here?
Yes.
The
coronary
the one behind your head.
Yes.
On this side, on the right hand side. Is it like these arteries?
Oh, yes. And now this is a patent artery. This is inside of an artery. There's nothing here. This is what everybody aims to have. Now, this is the cholesterol forming. These are the fats forming. This is still in the early stage. If you stop it right now, if you catch it here, it's still reversible. It cannot cause much harm.
So let me explain something. Let me understand something. The first artery, which is the clear one, with no fat there.
Yes.
That one, do you have cholesterol at that point? Do you have cholesterol at that point?
No, you don't.
No cholesterol?
No cholesterol.
Ah, so is cholesterol measured by the fat inside the artery?
No. Cholesterol actually is in the body at this point, but it is being used. The problem becomes when you make cholesterol that is more than what you need. Okay. So the body has finished using what it needs, and the excess is just here, piling up in the vessels, blocking it, so that when your heart beats and this blood that gets to the heart itself that performs the function, it is so narrow that it gets just very little. That's why one of the clinical features of hypercholesterolemia is angina. Angina is pain around the heart. You're not having pains because the heart is pumping without getting the energy back. So it has to tell you, I'm not okay. That's the pain. I'm not okay. Something is blocking my source of food. I'm not getting enough. What I'm getting is not adequate. Now, when you have something we call cardiac arrest, is when there's no blood at all.
Wow.
This is occluded. Even this one is gone.
So this one?
Yes.
The one with just one little dot?
Even the dot is closed.
So that's when the heart needs the blood?
Yes.
The blood's not coming?
The blood is not coming and the heart is pumping.
And then
yes.
Wow.
It just that's the part that we don't want anybody watching this program to have. Now, another thing is that I've explained about the angina pain. You have the coronary disease. So when this person, and this person all have coronary diseases. This is what it looks like. Now, when we have cerebrovascular disease, cerebral is the head. Vascular is the blood vessels in the brain, where when they're also like this, when they also look something like this. Now, we know that any part of the brain that isn't supplied with blood, what we call is stroke. Because the brain, once that part of the brain is affected, mildly or totally, it depends on whether you can move. If the part of the brain that is affected is the part of the brain that controls the hand. If it's mildly, you might feel paralysis and then, or maybe weakness. But if it's complete, there's no blood supply to that part of the brain, this hand can't move. Right. It can't move.
So is it the right hand or the left hand?
It depends on which part of the brain it affects.
Right.
Yes, because the part of the brain is like this. The part of the brain that supplies this, my left hand, is coming from the right side. So if this right side is affected, this hand is dead. Yes.
So when somebody has a stroke, you know, sometimes they're kind of like,
yes.
Is that the?
That is what it is.
Wow.
Yes, but stroke now can be caused by several other things, but this is one of the causes.
Right.
Yes. Another one is what we call peripheral vascular arterial disease. Peripheral means my hands and my legs. Now, when this cholesterol and all this, let's just leave the cholesterol, let's do fats. When these fats block these vessels, maybe in the leg, that's when you have severe pain in the leg. That's when you have everything about the leg starts malfunctioning. If you have a wound, it cannot go because it is only oxygen that makes a wound to go. So when that place is cut off, blood supply, because one fat is sitting on the vessel that supplies it, that's a problem. And usually it ends up with a hospital visit. Now, another one is abdominal aortic aneurysm. Abdominal aorta is the big vessel that supplies all this. This is abdomen. This is large intestine, all these things. So there's a vessel behind it that supplies it. That is the aorta. When it is also blocked, for the aorta to be blocked, sometimes, you know that the level of hypercholesterol in this individual is quite alarming. Yes, it's quite alarming. So another one is heart failure. Of course, it goes without saying. We've already explained this. When this is the key pinhole opening that just supplies your heart with the blood, the heart has to pack up. It can compensate for a while, but not for long.
Wow.
Yes, not for long. Another one is carotid stenosis. All these things that carotid is the vessel here in the neck going to the heart. So if still the fat blocks it. So you can see that everything about cholesterol, fats, occurs in the arteries. Right. Yes, it occurs in the arteries. And why it is so bad is that arteries, we have veins and we have arteries. Arteries are the ones that supply blood, oxygen to the organ. Now, veins is the one that after you've used the oxygen and everything, it takes blood away from that organ, carrying the products of metabolism, maybe the fat and everything. You have metabolized your fat in that vessel and it will carry the rubbish away. That's what vein does. So if your vein is affected, it might not be so drastic, but if it's the artery, which means the organ is starved of oxygen, of energy, there's no gainsaying about it. So it is really a serious stuff. So I employ people to take this very episode seriously, because everything we eat, everything we have, the shawarmas we love, the French fries, the chicken, everything, chicken with the back, but chicken actually is a good meat, but the red meat, the beefs, the porks, all of that, they are just laden with cholesterol.
Wow, wow. So how is there a I mean, how do you know whether you have cholesterol? Is it like you wait for your heart to make a noise, or how do you know? What do you if I've had shawarma, what's that?
Shawarma.
Shawarma.
Okay.
I've had red meat.
Okay.
And all this
have
stuff.
Hot dogs
so where's my artery right now? What's around my artery? Do I know? Or
you should know.
I should know.
When it gets to this level,
yeah,
you might not notice, but if it gets to here and here, it must give you a sign.
Right.
Yes, it must.
Okay.
That's the way the body operates.
Right.
Now, first of all, if you know that you have not been eating good food, you've been binging on fast food, first of all, for us to diagnose you, you have to do what we call a fasting lipoprotein profile. And it is advised that you do it every 5 years, because you never know. Because we want to catch it at this stage. If you let it go beyond, that's when there's a problem. So you have to measure, go to the blood. It's just blood tests. Oh. They will measure your plasma cholesterol, triglycerides, and the HDL. HDL is cardioprotective. It is actually the fat that protects your heart. Yes. If this thing here is HDL, it's not doing you any bad. No. And it wouldn't stick to the wall if it were HDL. Now, this is the LDL. It's stuck here. Stuck here. Yes.
So HDL will just flow through, or what?
Yes. HDL flows through. Right. It's protects the heart. Yes. It flows through. It doesn't stick.
Okay.
Yes. But this one comes and sticks.
LDL just goes.
And for years, it's there.
Wow.
Yes. It is that tenacious. Yes. You know the amount of energy you put in losing belly fat? That's the kind of fat is fat everywhere you locate it.
That's true.
Yes, fat is fat, and it's very bad when it's in a vessel, in a vessel with a closed end. Yeah. If you were both ends are open, it can flow through.
Wow.
But once it's there, it just stays there, permanent, finds a comfortable niche and stay, looking for havoc to cause.
Wow.
Yeah. So these tests, if you're supposed to do any lipid profile, that's what we call it in the hospital. Just walk into a hospital and tell them, I want to have my lipid profile checked. And the thing is, you have to fast for at least 12 to 15 hours. That's it.
12 to 15 hours, yeah?
Yes, really? 12 to 15 hours.
So when you say fast, is it just drink water, or is it can you have like light food?
The best thing is don't take anything, don't have water. Just do an overnight fast. Right. Maybe like your dinner is going to end maybe like 8 o'clock, because you know you want to go to hospital for a checkup. So do last meal 8 o'clock in the night. Go to hospital first thing in the morning, have your blood drawn, have it checked, and then you can do your breakfast.
And is it because they're looking for something in your blood?
Yes.
That's why they don't want you to add anything extra?
Exactly. Okay. Right. So we want to get the clear picture of what is going on. So we don't want an ambiguous result.
Right.
Yes. So first of all, these lipids, they have different types of them. lipid cholesterol dysfunction. They have different types, and usually it's familial. The first one I would like to talk about is familial hypercholesterolemia. First of all, they are selective. It's not every, in this familial hypercholesterolemia, you cannot see any other fats get increased apart from the LDL. That's the low density lipoprotein, the very bad one.
Right.
Yes. The people, I'm sorry to say, that have these diseases have a very high record of sudden death in their family.
Really?
Really.
Wow.
Really, yes.
So is it hereditary?
It's hereditary.
Okay, so but if you say it's hereditary, what happens if you're eating well and you're from a family that's had this before? Does that mean that you have no chance?
Yeah, you do have a chance if you are aware of it and you feed towards preventing that. Because now, being hereditary, having it in your family means that even when you I might take a whole chicken for a meal, and you do the same, and the person who has it will now, most of the fats, my fats, let's say I do a whole chicken and the fats I have, 80% of them is flushed out. I retain 20 and use it up. Nothing happens to me. But the person whose family members had it will likely retain 80 and just give out 20%.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's the catch.
That means in their case, their chicken needs to be 20% smaller.
Yes. Or just make it a habit of don't eat chicken with the back on it. Just do the white part. That's the best bet. Or you can get, like I've always said, you can get the Salad Master's cookware where you fry the chicken with the oil in it, so that what we are fearing in the back of the chicken is just the oil. If it's gone, it's harmless.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, some people on this show might not know what Salad Master is.
Oh, yeah.
So I just want to let them know that this show is sponsored by Salad Master.
It is.
And later on, if you want, after this show, you can arrange for free virtual presentation.
That's right.
Yeah? So just to let them know. And obviously, it's all about preserving the nutrition of the food and frying without oil and
living healthy.
Exactly.
Declogging our arteries.
Exactly. Yeah.
You can start today. If you start now, it is very, very. In fact, there's a study that says that exercising will decrease the rate of death of a person who has this hypercholesterolemia by 20%.
Wow.
If you do regular exercise,
wow.
it is that effective.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes. So another way they can present people with another way is what we call pancreatitis. What is pancreatitis? It is just that the blood is tired of having so much fat. It goes to the pancreas and just stores it. And when it does that, the pancreas gets bigger and it starts paining you. So one of the features of those people who have is abdominal pain. Every time you will treat Nigerians can have Nigerians can actually bastardize this typhoid. Every time they tell you, I have typhoid, please, if you have tested or treated typhoid for 6 times with antibiotics in a hospital, prescribed medications by a medical doctor 6 times this year, and you are still suffering from typhoid, you really need to look at yourself very well. What is really causing the abdominal pain and diarrhea and all of that? Check it. Most of the things you think are not the way it is.
So you're saying if you're having typhoid too often?
Yes, too often.
Then it's possible that they could be cholesterol issues.
Yes, and you're mistaking it. You're saying you have it because basically it is one of the overdiagnosed diseases in Nigeria. And most of the time, those people that they diagnose, they're not really down with typhoid. So we need to look. If you're having consistent abdominal pain that after treatment it might subside and come up again, I think you go for further evaluations.
This is great information for employees and employers.
Exactly.
Because a lot of employees go off with typhoid. I have lots of employees that say I've got
most
typhoid.
Most of the time, 60% of them is not even typhoid.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So now you have, apart from having the pancreatitis and all of that, you have what we call hepatosplenomegaly. Fine. This is your liver. This is anything hepato is liver. Spleen. This is the spleen. Now, because the fat is so much roaming around, apart from the pancreas, the body can decide to store it in this liver, causing what we call anytime the liver enlarges in its shape, or increases in shape is called hepatomegaly, and this one is increased. The fat, excess fat, is just looking for a place to lay their head inside the body. And whichever organ they go to, they create havoc. Yes, because it's not supposed to be there.
Okay.
It's not supposed to be there. So the best thing is don't even get it, because they will find a way, definitely. Once they get there, find a way. And in nature does not abhor vacuum, and neither does nature take you and keep you in a place where you're not supposed to be. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. So symptom severity is usually proportional to dietary fats intake and elevation of chylomicrons. Once you take, your food is usually fatty. Usually it's whenever you have a fatty food, notice it 2 to 3 hours after, symptoms will trigger. That is how you know that this is in connection with this fatty food I just ate. Some people might even mistake it for ulcer, because it is pain that comes after food. Yes, but the locations of the pain is what differentiates it.
So fatty food, I know you gave us some examples before.
Okay.
And you said like red meat,
yes,
with lots of kind of like fat on top.
That's it.
And chicken, a lot on the back of the chicken.
Yes.
Is there any other foods apart from meats that are fatty?
Yes. Yes. All the junk foods. Let's do shawarma. Let's do hot dog. Let's do even what is it called? French fries, potato chips. I know some people, they'll carry the bag and put, whenever they are traveling, is beside them, the bag. They always nibble on it. Of course, it's very quick and easy to eat. So you have it, all of that contains fat. Something we call the margarines, the butters, all of that contains fat. Even some sort of mayonnaise also contains fat. All the bread spreads are not advised, except if you can get avocado. Avocado actually is a very good bread spread.
I love avocado.
Oh yeah.
I love avocado.
So you can use it to substitute for all these butters and margarines and all of that. Then again, Nigeria, how are we really, our main source of food? If you're not eating eba, you're making rice. And most of the rice we make, you must have plenty. Oh my God. You go to the street food. Of course, it's tasty. I'm a Nigerian, I appreciate it, but it's unhealthy. If you go to the street food, you see the woman, she will pour half gallon of ground oil in it, and she will fry the pepper, fry the tomatoes, and it's hot. You eat it.
Fried plantain.
Yes.
Fried dodo.
You do dodo on top of it with fried meat.
Chicken.
My God.
You fry the chicken, you fry the rice.
All of it.
Oh
my God.
Oh, wow.
And then the worst part of it, you now eat the food with maybe soda drink to drive it, like we say it in Nigerian palace. I want to drive the food down. Hey!
So they're driving cholesterol.
They're driving cholesterol. Down. It is a disaster waiting to happen inside of you. Yeah. And most of the time, if you observe yourself very well, after eating such foods, you are not even happy. You feel gas. You feel bloated. There's something really going on, because the body is trying to digest this fat. It is too much. After digesting it and breaking down into cholesterol, chylomicrons, and triglycerides, the problem now becomes, where do we store it? So the problem is in grades. Wow. Where do we store it? Because it can't excrete. It doesn't leave the body. Wow. So that's the problem. Then another one is there's another type called familial type 3 hyperlipoproteinemia. This one actually happens after 20 years. Anybody less than 20 years there's never in medicine, but it's rare. Right. It's very rare. And then we have what we call xanthomata. Xanthoma is fat underneath the skin coming together to form maybe a plaque. Something like this. You think it's a ball, but it's not a ball. If you feel it, you feel it's flesh. It's actually fat. Because
it grows under.
It grows on the skin. On the skin, yes. It's like you have a little pimple in it. But in the case of pimples and papules and boil, you feel maybe something liquid inside. But it just feels like your flesh that is a bit elevated. Yes. Okay. It's still the fat looking for a way to store itself, because it's excess. So it comes on the skin, in the liver, in the pancreas, in the spleen, looking for storage there. Wow. So we also have what we call tuberous eruptions. It's still the same kind of eruption. Some of them, you see it in the eye. Somebody's eye like this. You can see something like a skin tag cooling down, it is still one of the symptoms. If you see someone like that, you still, it's advisable for the person to go to hospital. Just a blood test. Do your blood test and check, do your lipid profile. Once they tell you about it, then you get to work with your doctor. Okay. So yes. So another one is so that is one of the clinical features. Another one is also, it can also accumulate in the arteries that we also mentioned before. There are so many types of these diseases. Usually, there's another one that you present. You might not, you have it in your family, you're an adult, then you are a drinker of alcohol. You love alcohol so much. That's when it starts. It's like you have it in is in your system, lying dormant. But once you now take alcohol, you have, in fact, when they come to hospital, we know. When they look at you, say, Oga, do you drink alcohol? Do you drink beer? Or which other one? You say yes. That's it. How do you know that you should go for tests for hyperlipidemia? First of all, is like we discussed last week. If you have diabetes, you've had it for at least 5 years, you need to get yourself tested. If you are obese, when you are fat, very fat, you need to go get tested. Then, if you have what we call hyperuremic syndrome is when you have gout in your leg. Your toe, the first toe, is always reddish, painful, and swollen. That is, in medicine, we call it gout. If that happens to you recurrently, you should get yourself checked out for hyperlipidemia. Another one is if you take exogenous sources of estrogen. How does it come? For women who actually wants to use it as a source of contraceptive, some actually do it for over a long time. If you know that you do this, you need to check your lipid level. Another one is post-menopausal women. That's women who have stopped seeing their menses and still they introduce extra estrogen in their body. They are using it either as a patch or topically or anything. You should also get yourself checked out. Another one is if you are an alcoholic. If you are, you know. If you love alcohol, you know. There's a difference between being a social drinker and an alcoholic. A social drinker is when you go to occasion. Of course, you take a glass or two of wine or even a bottle or two of beer, and that's okay. Maybe once in a week or even 3 times a week, that's not bad. But when you every day you cannot do without it, no, you should get tested early, because the earlier you catch this, the better. And then and another thing is that the risk of atherosclerosis is also increased in this disorder. What is atherosclerosis? Don't be scared by the big name. It's just when you see this happen. Now, look at these two vessels. This vessel and this vessel, which one looks like it's going to be softer?
Softer?
Yeah.
Softer?
Mm-hmm.
The one without the yellow?
Exactly. So atherosclerosis is just hardening of these arterial walls. It is hardened because there's something supporting it inside. It's supposed to be an empty lumen, just like this. When there's nothing here, it closes. But when there's something here, I can't press this hand down as easily. So it's hardened. So all those big Englishes, that is just what it breaks it. We break it down to be. Without fat, the artery can move. It is not hard. With fat, it is strong and it stays like that, which is not good, because all these places, they are not meant to be strong. If they're strong, they cannot supply all these places. So arteries actually move inside our body. So when they are there, all those small areas, when they are hard, it becomes straight. It can't bend to give all the nooks and crannies in the body. It can't supply it with nutrients and blood, and that's when the problem begins. Okay, so we're looking at history and then physical examination. So when you come presenting to me, what do I look at? What questions do I ask you to know that you might likely be a candidate for hypercholesteremia? One of them is, do you have any cardiovascular risk factor? One of them is heart. Your heart pains you. Any pain around the chest should be looked at seriously. You can say, I was choked, I was coughing. Please, no excuses. Heart is a very delicate organ. If you feel any problem around the heart, when you're talking, you're having pain in the heart, when you're resting or when you're running, it doesn't matter. You need to go to the hospital. Check it out. Let the doctor tell you, oh, this is harmless. Then you can rest.
Doctor, pain.
Yes.
Pain. Pain is relative.
Yeah.
And one of the things I found out. I'm always conscious. I'm health conscious because I've been in this profession we're in.
Yes.
In salad mass, you're always health conscious. Any little slight. So I have pain, and I'm like, so I went to the doctor, and the doctor said, the pain. I said, the pain. She said, where's the pain? I said, it's around my heart. She said, where's the pain? I said, it's here. She said, your heart's not there. I said, so we've got to make it clear. Where is the heart? You said around the heart. Where is the heart?
The heart is actually on the upper part of you by the left side. Most people.
So it's on this side.
Yes, on the left
just
side.
Here.
Yes, just here. Just here. But there are some people that their own from childhood is located at the right side, which is called dextrocardia. It can happen. So don't even take it for granted. I don't know. If you have any heart pain, better check it out. Go to a doctor, preferably before you get to see the doctor. Do what we call ECG, electrocardiogram. Let them know what's out before you go, because heart problems is better caught early.
Doctor, see, we're novices. Okay. We're not doctors. Okay. So when you say heart pain, nobody knows what heart pain is. They know pain. So what's the difference between pain and heart pain?
Let's just put it like this. I should have said, okay, when you have chest, see, from here to here is your chest. Any pain from here to here, that's your chest. So that's when you start looking. How was it? But usually, heart pain is central. And when it comes, you feel like somebody's pressing. You hear it, they will tell the doctor, somebody's pressing me when I'm sleeping. Nobody's pressing you. That's your heart. When you have a heart pain, some people, it can just be angina. That we call it angina. It just comes silently, but it's usually central here. But then we have other pains that can cause that, like reflux can be there. So that's why the only person who can differentiate what is happening is the doctor. That is one thing. Anybody can give you medication. Anybody can give you lifestyle ideas, tips, and everything. But it's only a doctor that can do a diagnosis. So please go to a doctor, or you can if you know the kind of pain you're feeling and you're actually watching this program, write it down exactly the way it is, where you feel it, how you feel it. Is it gripping? Is it central? Does it feel like you're dying? Does it feel like someone is choking? Write it exactly like that, and we'll get back to you in due time.
So if you write it down, you then call your doctor.
No, if they write it down for me, describing it aptly. If you describe it aptly for me, I will now know, is this a gastro reflux or what? If I feel that there's need for me to have further consultations with you, I will do that. And if I feel there's a need for you to go to your cardiologist, I'll refer you. But the thing is, differentiate your pain. Yes. Then another one is if you have a history of premature death in the family. Premature, at the prime of your life, 35 to 40, person is dead. I had a lecturer in university who was a doctor to a family or who had this familial hypercholesterolemia. One of them was a professor. The other one was a doctor. They died like that. So the one that we witnessed he was having a lecture with us in class, and they called him that the last of them surviving. A lady just passed out and collapsed in the airport. That the lady gave the number that they should call this guy when she felt that this is our doctor. By the time he could get to the airport, said, yes, it is that serious. It is that serious. And then another one is secondary causes of hyperlipidemia. If you have it, maybe like I said, obesity, diabetes, hypertension, and all of that, they are secondary causes. Now, it's not by your lifestyle or anything, but because you already have a pre-existing condition that can predispose you to having hypercholesterol in your blood, or hyperlipid, or hyperlipidemia, as you can put it, or fat in your system. And that is it. Another one is if you have a history of abdominal pain, like I said before, liver disease, pancreatitis, and all of that. Peripheral vascular pain. Every time your hands, you feel that from here to here, there's no blood. Even some people's own is so bad that fat will come and occlude the arteries, that it doesn't give blood to surrounding or distal vessels. This place can turn black, can be gangrene. It's real. So don't let it get to that. Usually, what we don't see those cases now because of advance in medicine. So before it gets to that, it's nipped in the bud. But usually, if you leave it without checking it out, it goes towards that. Yes. Okay. The next one is this. After you've checked yourself, this is what you know. Do before you know that, okay, I have this. Now, examples of now another risk factor we have people who know that they have it is men who are above 45 years and women who are above 55. Why is it different? There's the hormone estrogen is the hormone that makes me a woman, that makes you a woman, that makes any woman a woman, and it is cardioprotective. It protects the heart, it protects the blood vessels. So when it's no longer there, that is when you start presenting with these symptoms. You see women coming up with hypertension, hyperlipidemia, and all of that because the protectiveness of estrogen is gone after menopause.
You're saying women are more protected?
Yes.
By having
estrogen, the hormone, the feminine hormone.
When they get to 55,
yes. So if you had it in your family and it has been there because you were protected by your hormones, when you now hit menopause, it starts rearing its ugly head up. Yes. So it's good if you know that there's a family history, daddy has it, mommy that has it, auntie has it. Start now to take care of yourself because once you hit menopause, it might likely come. Yes. Another one is cigarette smoking. Cigarette smoking and lipids are hand in hand. So if you are a chronic cigarette smoker and coupled that you're obese, that's a very bad combination. But cigarette smoking alone is a factor. Then also when you're hypertensive, like I said before, or when you're on drug, of course, if you're hypertensive, you're going to be placed on antihypertensive drugs. And these drugs, one of the side effects is also hyperlipidemia. The last risk factor I'm going to say is when you go to hospital, maybe check yourself out and you notice that your high density cholesterol is less than 40 milligrams per kilo. That's a warning sign, which means nothing is protecting your heart. It's just open.
That's when you get tested.
Yeah.
They test you and then they say it's less than 40.
Yes, that's what one way. Now, there's not so much talk about hypercholesteremia. You know that when you ingest too much fat, or you don't ingest too much fat, but you eat, and due to your lifestyle, the fat that you have in you that should have been burned and used for activities are stored. Yes, because of sedentary lifestyle. Now, let me advise, there's dietary therapy for it. Before we proceed, you need to look at your weight. Tell yourself, what do I weigh? Everybody should know their numbers. This is, we're no more living in the medieval times. Everybody should know what they weigh and where you belong in your body mass index. Now, let's take it like this. If you happen to go to a hospital, you walk in and tell them to weigh you. When they weigh you, they will measure your height as well. And with both statistics, your body mass index can be deduced. Now, if your body mass index is anything like 18.5, you are underweight. And underweight is not good. Everything about nature is about balance, not too high, not too low. So 18.5 BMI, that is body mass index, is on the weight. The ideal weight that everybody should have for your particular height is 18.5 to 24.9 or 24.5. From 18 to 24, that is it. Be below 25 and be above 18. That is the ideal.
But one thing you said is 18.5.
Is on the weight.
So
yes.
Should we not be on?
Okay, 18.6.
Yeah.
18.6.
Yeah.
Thank you for the correction. 18.6 to 24.5. That's the ideal weight for anybody. Now, when you're overweight is now graded into 3 different parts. When you are slightly overweight, that is from 25 to 29.9, which means you have low risk. So at that BMI of 25 to 29.9, maybe the fats clocking the vessels are just like this. And this is health risk, but it is low.
Right.
Yes, it is low. Now, when you are overweight, with your BMI is between 30 to 40, you're already obese, but that places you in being healthy, you're moderately risky. Yes, you'll have moderate health risk.
Right.
Yes, maybe it is like this. It is still moderate, still correctable at this point. Now, when your BMI is greater than 40, that's a high health risk. Greater than 40, you are morbidly obese. I don't think with BMI of 40, that person can comfortably walk on his own. No,
Really?
you need to be helped.
Wow.
That's when you now woggle and jiggle when you work.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And those are facts.
Yeah.
All those things are facts. That's it. And then for men, you measure your waist circumference. Your waist should ideally be less than 102 cm. Measure it with measuring tape. Just go now. Anybody watching this, check out how healthy you are, how many fats you are packing. For the women, less than 88 cm. Including those who have given birth. So the excuse is not I've given birth. No, it's not excuse. No.
Right. What about the excuse for men? It's just water.
It's just water. It's just beer. No. That's fat. The beer is converted to fat.
Ah.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. It is converted to fat because you don't store liquid. No, we don't. The liquid is passed out through the kidney. So for you to retain your beer, it is turned into fat. And that's why the belly gets big. It's fat that can enlarge your abdomen. Now, so let's get down to the treatments. How do we deal with this?
Wow.
Yes.
So we're doing treatment, some treatment today and tomorrow?
Yes, we're doing some treatments today and tomorrow because it's kind of much.
A lot.
Yes, a whole lot. But let's, first of all, I think tomorrow, the dietary therapy will be for tomorrow.
Right.
Yes, because it's a whole lot.
Okay.
We need to take it, because I'm now measuring French fries, potato chips. Tomorrow, we will classify them. Low risk, high risk, moderate risk. If you love potato chips and you have it, of course you love it. Is there anything I can swap with it so that I can still get the same feel in a healthy way? Yes.
So just going on with what you said earlier, yeah, body mass index. Do we have to go to the doctor to get our body mass index, or can we do it ourselves?
Okay, by all means, if you have a weight scale at home and then have a place where you can standard height measurements, you can do it.
So let's say you get your height.
Yeah.
And then you get your weight.
Yes.
Your weight, what unit for measurement?
Okay, your weight usually is in kilograms. Okay. And then your height is in meters. So what you do is your weight divided by your height. That gives you your BMI.
BMI.
That's it.
So we can do it yourself.
Yes.
Do it yourself.
Yes, but the thing is, most people might have scale weights in the bathroom, but they don't have the stuff for measuring heights. Right. Standometer, that's what it's called.
I mean, when you say that the risk is like for men, like 45 or above. Yes. I mean, they're not going to change too much in height, are they?
No, not height. No, okay, fine, that's it. So if you already know your height, yes, if you already know your height. Yeah. That's a very good point. That's a very good point. So if you already know your height, or you go somewhere to measure it and you know this is I am 1.7 cm, that's it. Just do your weight, because the weight is the one that keeps changing, and then divide both of them and you get your BMI.
But I think in Nigeria we need to start doing that, because obviously in Nigeria we all need to start knowing, like you said, know your numbers, and measure it against what it should be.
Yes.
Yeah. And the other thing I was wondering was, you said the waist measurement. Obviously we are all different stature, different heights. Yeah. Are you trying to are you saying to me that somebody that's 6'6" should have the same waist as somebody that's 5'5"?
Of course not.
So why do we say 102? Why do we say 102?
No, I said less than.
Less than 100
is better.
Okay.
Some can have 190, 80.
Okay.
All of that.
So you're talking about in terms of.
Yes. Don't go beyond 1, 2.
Right.
Yes. Okay. Don't go. And if you have now, that's a pointer that you should do something about it.
So the body mass index, if I get this right, is an indication of whether you're at high risk of cholesterol.
Yeah.
Now we said there's two types of cholesterol.
Yeah.
There's high and there's
no, they're not two types. They're actually four types.
Oh.
You have high density like protein. You have low density. You have intermediate density, and you have very low cholesterol.
Okay, so intermediate is normal.
Intermediate actually is not it can when it's in a particular in connection with the LDL, that's the low density, it's bad. But intermediate actually can be good because depending on what it's reacting with, it can give off it is what is used to manufacture low or high. Yes. So if you give it the right substrate, it's going to give you more high. Give it bad, it's going to with your food, you're eating junk, it's going to give you more low density, which is the one that attacks the heart.
Well, just coming back to my question now, because I now understand more.
Okay.
Right now. Coming back to my question that, okay, so your body mass index gives you an indication that you may be at risk of whether it's high or low.
Yes.
Is it like a low body mass index means that you're at risk of I don't know, low.
No. Now, when your actually body mass index is your body mass, the whole total mass, and most of the time, when you exclude your muscles, the only other thing that you have, exclude your muscles and your bones, the only other thing that you have is fat. Yes. So now, when you measure it, it's going to give you a pointer. How am I? How fat am I? Because normally, even when you're lean, you weigh something. Now, when you are now adding fat to it, so it's just like a control measure, or it's something that triggers up a reaction in you. When you have body mass index of greater than maybe like 30, it's not good anymore. Yes, you shouldn't sit on it. You shouldn't sit on such a BMI. Walk it up, because it's better. It acts as a check. Unlike when you have no number in sight, you just be eating. You get on your scale today and weigh maybe like 75. Tomorrow you're weighing 80, and that's okay. No, it's not okay. It's not okay. And the way the body mass index is controlled or classified, it's a range. Yes, it's a range. So for you now, but the one that isn't range is the morbidly obese. That is, you're already above 40. That one, you know that nobody needs to tell you you're fat. That is it. So now,
just one last one.
Okay.
I know we've got lots of time for treatment next week.
Oh yes, tomorrow.
So one last one. So, what advice do we have for people that are going to be concerned that if they feel that they know they're obese? So, is there any comeback? What can they do? What can they do starting from today?
Beautiful. So that takes me straight to my next point, which is exercise. Exercise. I want to deal with exercise today, and look at it in different ways. In as much as we are constrained due to work and everything, there's a way you still do your work and be healthy and lose those fats. Let's take it. Middle-aged men, it is recommended that they do exercise for 30 minutes, 3 times a week. It is not bad. And it has also been shown to have effects within 2 months. 30 minutes every day, 3 times a week. 30 minutes on Monday, 30 minutes on Wednesday, 30 minutes on Friday. That's all. If you are consistent with it, by 2 months, you would have reduced your health risk to at least below 10%. Yes, is that effective?
Well, I'm happy.
Oh yeah.
It made me happy.
No. It's not something that doesn't have a solution either.
I'm happy because I do more than 30.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's great.
Once every 2 days. So that makes 3 days. Great.
That's wonderful. And now there are some moderate aerobic exercises also that is allowed. If you have the time and you have the means, you can just walk. Everybody can Well, you have a car. You don't need to go everywhere with the car. Do brisk walk. Maybe up and down the street. Even if not the street, the compound. Up, down, up, down, up, down. 30 times you're done. Yes, that's a good one. If you can jog, for people who live in nice neighborhoods, you can jog on the road and it's safe. By all means. Once you come home from work, oh, just freshen, just go for it. Maybe you've eaten or not, it doesn't matter. If you can't jog, walk. Go along. It is, see, one thing I know, and I use it to encourage myself when I'm so lazy, I don't want to exercise. If you get up and walk around, what I tell myself is you're better right now than someone who is lying on the couch. 10 times, 20 times, 30 times better because you're moving. You're moving. The body is not meant to be sedentary. That's not the thing. So if you're sedentary, that's a problem. Another one is swimming. Swimming is so good. It moves every muscle in your body. Hand, leg, waist, everything, neck, everything. Swimming does that. So if you do have a swimming pool in your house, by all means, that's a very beautiful exercise. That's very beautiful. You can do lapses. And then another one is cycling. If you have access to a bicycle, please do cycle. Cycling also helps. And it's also a form of enjoyment. Yes, you can receive your fresh air while keeping fit at the same time. Another one is do really do lipid profile on a regular basis to help. And all these exercises are enumerated. If you did your lipid profile before and you now embark on the exercises, by the time you do it for 2 months and check the same lipid profile, you will see a significant change. Yeah. Yes, you see a significant change.
So basically exercise.
Yes.
Different forms of exercise.
Yes, different forms of it. Right. Now, there's another one I would like to. There's what I captioned. Getting out of your chair can actually save your life. Yes, me now getting off this chair can actually save your life. Now, let's take it like this. Due to the technological, economical, and social changes that our environment and our era has been able to enjoy, many people are likely to sit more than is healthy for their body because of the technological advancements, the social changes. I don't even need to go to my friend's house anymore when I have a phone. I don't even need, but previously, you need to go check on your friend if you want to see your friend. So all those ones now are curbed. Even if you don't make a call, you can do social media and still interact with your friend. There are so many things. You can do WhatsApp. That is covering that part of exercising or visiting friends. You cover it off. Another one is the internet. Maybe you work in an office where you are always glued to the computer. You're doing this, you're doing that with your computer, with your desktop, and you work maybe for 8 hours a day. Wow, that is it. Fantastic. So we need to devise a means to get you off that chair. Wow. Yes, because
I'm sure all this information is just so powerful.
Oh yes, it is.
So useful for everyone.
Oh yes.
And I'm sure they're looking forward to tomorrow to see some great more information.
Yes, we're doing that. So now it is also said that many people spend an average of 15.5 hours sitting each day using either a computer, watching TV, or playing video games. Wow. 15 hours a day. How many hours do we have? Exactly. 24. Exactly. So you spend most of it lounging.
Especially now in this pandemic.
Oh my God.
I think some people spend 24 hours.
Oh my God.
They go on the bed, the computer.
It is so detrimental to health. The body is not meant to work like that. It doesn't function well like that. So some health studies have presented evidence that prolonged sitting is unhealthy and it can be a potentially deadly practice. So this is it. So I think that tomorrow we will continue from where we stopped. But as you can see, I'm having so much fun. I don't even want to break it.
Oh, I don't want you to stop. I don't want you to stop. I'm just enjoying myself. You know, I'm happy about the exercise.
Yeah.
I'm happy that some people out there that might be obese, that might have some signs, high risk. Yeah. I'm happy that they've got a solution. Yeah. And tomorrow, I think we're going to show them the real treatment and the real solution.
The real solution. Because tomorrow, I'm going to give us at least 10 tips on how getting out of your chair can save your life.
Fantastic, fantastic. So thank you very much. Okay. Do you have anything to say to them before we wrap up?
Oh my God, I have plenty to say. Just keep hooked on this program. There's a whole lot of goodies coming from us to you.
Okay, so thank you, Dr. Dolly. And what I'd like to say is thank you, the audience. Thank you for Salad Master, our sponsors. Thank you for Dr. Dolly come in as our in-house doctor, giving us some useful, powerful information on your billion-dollar body show. Your billion-dollar body show. What we're saying is your body is worth more than $1 billion. So what we like to say is thank you very much, Dr. Dolly. And tomorrow, what time tomorrow is it, Dr. Dolly?
It is by 6:30.
By 6:30. By 6:30. Actually, I think it's 6 o'clock.
Okay, yeah? 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. Don't be late. It's 6 o'clock. So guess what? We're going Salad Master. Yeah, we're going to do Salad Master. So Salad Master, here we have our Salad Master here, and tomorrow we'll talk more about our Salad Master. So thank you very much, and I'm going to pass over to Marvel. Thank you very much, Marvel. Over to you, Marvel.
All right. Wow, wow, wow. What amazing information we've received this afternoon. Thank you, Dr. Dolly. Thank you, Mr. Tony. Thank you for this show, Your Billion-Dollar Body. And that's been the messages coming through this afternoon. Now, one question that someone has asked that I want to find out from Dr. Dolly, you know, we just had the salad. Someone said we just had the salad, and it's almost impossible to stay away from the meat. So what's the best possible replacement for red meat is what the person has asked, especially during the festive periods.
Well, yes, I can understand that. The salad meat, you can't avoid it during these holidays. But if you have been living a healthy life and it comes to salad and you eat red meat, I don't think you're going to die from it. But in case you are already maybe like obese and you're already diagnosed with hypercholesterol and you want to cut down, you can actually go for the lean part of the salad meat that doesn't contain the fatty part. And then quantity is also a lot comes to play here. You might not eat as much as you would have if you didn't know you have this as a problem. So you can take a reduced portion that is more on the lean side than on the fatty side, or you can also do chicken or turkey if it's allowed. But if it's not allowed, you can still do your salad meat and then turn it into, and there's a way they do the suya meat. They can lean it out, the meat, make it a lean meat. The ram suya stuff is lean, and then avoid the fatty part. And then when you're taking it, don't have too much at the time. I think that will do.
Fantastic. And quality. And I think one of the things about that question also, it leads us into the Salad Master sponsors. Because remember, they've got this meat now, and now normally they would fry it with oil.
Yes.
Now here, we're frying the oil out of it. So therefore, they can have more of that with less of the fat. Am I right?
That's so cool. Yes. I don't know why I didn't remember the question, that. Because then the salad meat is still fatty on itself, and you come and fry it with vegetable oil, and increasing the level of fat in it. So the best thing is you can get a Salad Master cooking apparatus and then fry out the fats and oil from the meat, and then that's when the meat naturally becomes a lean meat for you.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So thank you, Marvel.
Amazing, amazing. Okay, the other question someone is asking is, I believe you've just answered it. The person likes potato chips a lot. Yeah, and you've talked about potato chips today. So I believe Salad Master can help also fry the potato chips with no oil. Someone is asking.
Okay.
Well, we can do it with little or no oil. Yeah. So that's with Salad Master.
That's right.
And I think that means that it reduces the risk again.
That is it. So now, when you fry your potato chips in a Salad Master cookware, what you do is that you're getting the oil out of the potato and taking the nutrition and then letting go of the oil. Yes. Because potato is highly nutritious. It's only the oil and the trans fat that surrounds the processing of it that we condemn. Yes.
Thank you, Marvel.
Okay, powerful. All right, so over to you now in the studio to wrap up. Thank you very much.
Okay, so Dr. Dolly.
Okay, so I implore you to keep a date with us tomorrow, where we'll now go into details on the treatment of hypercholesteremia or hyperlipidemia or accumulation of excess fat in the body. Thank you.
I believe we're also going to be doing some prevention.
Oh, yes.
Even though we've talked about some prevention today.
Yes.
Yeah, so tomorrow is going to be a great show, Dr. Dolly and your billion-dollar body. My advice for you is to tune in quickly, get your tea or whatever ready, get your food ready, and just make sure it's lean in meat, yeah, lean in fat. Should I say lean in fat?
That's right.
Healthy. So while you're talking, you don't choke on your food. We don't want you to choke on your food. We want you to enjoy the food and watch the show.
That's
So
right.
remember, tomorrow at 6 o'clock, it's Dr. Dolly and on your billion-dollar body.
Yeah.
And remember, I'd like to say thank you very much to Marvel, thank you very much to Dr. Dolly, and thank you very much for our Salad Master sponsors. Remember, Salad Master, you can see a free presentation for Salad Master, which is showing you how to reduce the fats and oils in your food, and also how to retain the nutritional value. Please book a presentation, subscribe on your YouTube channel so that you can hear about all the other shows we have. Thank you very much, and bye-bye. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Good night. Bye.